Wisconsin families are feeling the heat, economically speaking, more than ever before. Inflationary costs and the job outlooks have been making challenges for good, hardworking people to provide for their families a gracious way of life. I'm here today to talk to you about the importance and the necessity of nearshoring and reversing opinions or decisions to offshore labor and bring manufacturing back to the United States. In 2019, I was involved in one of my organization's largest offshoring event ever. In 2019, my department that started out with 62 personnel was left with 22 personnel in a matter of weeks. Those individuals were forced to retire early or separated with pay. This also coincided with a senior vice president hire who brought many great ideas, but also spelled the end of something great, which is our corporate IT department and the support it rendered not only across the organization, but the support it provided to the local families and communities that were built around the organization. My firm has stood the test of time. My firm's over 150 years old, and they have been rooted at the very beginning of Wisconsin commerce and manufacturing. We build products that define gracious living. What we make is found in homes, hospitals, schools, businesses. It's made with pride, attention to detail, and those who produce those products bring with them that Midwestern value, ethics, specific to hard work and attention to detail. The decision to offshore our labor, specifically in IT, seemed practical at the time, lowering costs, globalization with respect to efficiencies and modern scalability, but what really cost us was far more. Many of you here know what it feels like, maybe through a spouse, a brother, a neighbor, when good, hardworking people lose their jobs. That kind of loss ripples not only through a household, but for the communities in which these people live. I too know what that was like when I was a child during the 2008 recession, which was one of the largest recessionary events in our recorded history. My mother lost her job, and I remember the confusion and the energy that surrounded what we needed to do to move forward in a time of great uncertainty. It caused a lot of stress, anguish, and emotion for several years after that event. Those types of opportunities are what provide us, Wisconsinites, those who contribute to large organizations that manufacture or produce something great, purpose. And the erosion of that local opportunity cuts deep. That's where this story begins, not with numbers, but with people. Now, offshoring is not a new concept, specific or especially with IT. This was more than just an emotional mistake. This was a strategic one. The promise of efficiency and reduced costs, but it created new inefficiencies and a little more costs that are a lot harder to measure. Communication delays and cultural barriers, not to mention the time zone conflicts, were all just some examples of what we lost when we conducted this offshoring event. There were two different locations where the new labor, where this offshoring event unfolded, gave and rendered support. It was in Eastern Europe and in the Asia Pacific region. What used to take one quick call or one quick meeting with a local team now took days and a lot of deconfliction with time zones and systems. The customers also felt this, not just the employees that worked at the organization post-offshore. We felt slower responses, errors, and less personalization. This event unfolded right before the advent of COVID-19. All of us, or many of us at least, spent the most of that time at home, isolating. Housing projects, people who wanted to renovate and build a gracious experience within their home, that took off more than ever. You can imagine what kind of opportunity was lost when these efficiencies started to run rampant as a result of this offshoring event. We've had several years behind this, and it's now time to take a look at the math. It no longer works. What was meant to save money and drive a little bit of efficiency on paper is simply not doing that anymore. The cost to our reputation, time, and those who produce the products that we love and know today need and must band together to make this right. It's time to bring these roles back to Wisconsin. To nearshore this opportunity would start bringing back and rebuilding our brand, the one that we had built over 150 years ago. It's good for Wisconsin, it's good for our business, and good for our customers. There are several recent examples of firms making attempts to offshore, even Wisconsin firms. GE being one of the more recent events in history, literally going back several months ago, has begun an investment of $3 billion to bring manufacturing back from China and back from Mexico into more than 16 different locations domestically, one of those being Janesville, Wisconsin. It takes a lot for an organization to admit they're wrong, and there's some noble aspects of owning that and driving action to make it right again. My organization has what it takes to do that, and I believe they need to more than ever. Organizations like people are not perfect, but it's time to call some attention to the fact that we cannot let something run rampant like this continue to carry before it's too late. Many of us care very deeply about the work and passion we put into our careers, and bringing that sense of purpose and that branding back to our image is more important than ever. Those 60 families had children and other loved ones that had effects to this event. I think it's time now that we start assessing this and begin a plan and a strategy that we can take to mimic GE and make something happen for the better.